once again, welcome to another of the Warrior Teacher series of my videos. This is by way of a reminder, and I thought would be of interest because it shows you what the sort of thing that's going on currently within the gay constituency. So it makes it interesting for me, obviously, but mostly, and perhaps for other gay men like Dennis and Clive and Andrew Doyle, all of the others who have been involved in this particular vicious scrap. Part of the Warrior Teach programme is recognising that we have to change minds, not just hearts. So we've got to make people understand what it is that's been going on. And although we do not spend an enormous amount of time studying the legal issues that surround this particular fight between gay and lesbian people and the LGBTQIA cult, so it's appropriate that it comes under this banner, really, because it is a real thing rather than being me just taking the mickey out of somebody as the jester. So I hope you'll bear with me. Here's a little history. Around about 2000, right, which is, believe it or not, 24 years ago. Hello. I don't want to think about that, and I imagine you don't either. 24 years ago, there was a television programme that was released in the UK. It eventually went on to become a USA remake called Queer as Folk, which was directed by that lanky chap, Russell T Davies, who gave that absolutely ridiculous speech at one of these boondoggles where they slap themselves on the back for the crap they make, right? And it was a great series. It was actually a brilliant series. And it was a very, very important part of gay life in opening up a sort of real view of what it was like to be a gay individual at those times, with all the sadness and the happiness that came with it, the inclusion of families and the knowledge that we would now enter a much different time from the one that we'd seen when I was growing up in the 70s, 80s and 90s. So it was a really important cultural artefact called Queer as Folk, right? So picture the scene. Me. Oh, I've seen it now. Let's go. Let's get up there. Let's get to Manchester. Myself and many other men my age came to Manchester as a direct result of Queer as Folk, without a shadow of a doubt. How do I know? Because I met them, the ones that were there, right? Not many of them are here now, sadly. Most of them are gone. But I met them, and it was them that owned the bars. It was them that put together things for us to do. It was them that kept us going and maintained a kind of stability that so many of them have now gone, sadly, either through natural causes or through suicide. That it's very sad to imagine that, but it's true. So a lot of the people that I knew when I originally came to Canal Street are no longer here, and that's sad. But, and here's the important thing, what it was at the time an enclave for gay men. Like, come here, right? And lesbians. Believe it or not, they were lesbians. I used to go and see them. They had a great pub called Vanilla, which I think is still there. But I used to go in on match days because then I get sandwiches. They were really good. Match days, they'll be there watching the football and I get some sandwiches. I can't give a toss about football. The only thing I like about football is from the bottom of the shorts to the top of the socks. Yum, 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 yum. Other than that, so this, I mean, that was the kind of thing it was. Although we interacted together, the lesbian and gay men, we've never been a bloody coalition of any kind. We generally would not, just stay away. You do what you do, we'll do what we'll do. But yeah, they were the ones that sat by the beds of the men who died of AIDS because they knew that we were in many ways compatriot, and we've collaborated on things since, and we're certainly collaborating on things now in order to break the hold of the LGBTQIA cult. So I thought it'd be interesting to tell you about what's happened over the last few days, based on the fact that you understand that Queer as Folk was about Canal Street, right, in Manchester, big part of the gay scene in Britain. Overtaken, like everything else, parasitised by the LGBTQIA plus nut jobs who've infiltrated Manchester Pride, the LGBT Foundation. All of them are now filled with these filthy queer theorists and their allies. So I thought it would be interesting for you to find out that I've now had a number of people contact me, and it's strange. Things are moving since Cass, right? It's like the body politic has been given Imodium. Is it Imodium that makes you shite, or is that what stiffens it up? I can never remember. Well, they've been given something to get it out. Syrup of figs. So it looks like the gay scene's had a syrup of figs. Because it's all spouting out at a rate of knots now. Now, how far this will go, I do not know. But I have been contacted by people that I've not heard from in a very long time indeed, nearly 5 years in some cases, to tell me that they have been told unequivocally by a number of bars on Canal Street that because I'm gender critical, I am banned from their premises. Right? It's almost as if, the court case is never, it's almost as if four-stater Maya, as if Maya doesn't exist, isn't it? It's almost as if Maya doesn't exist. They've got no idea what it is that they're doing. So they've told people, members of the public and their staff, that I'm banned from their venues, right? Because of the fact that I'm gender critical. Do you, and tell me in the comments, good people of the Twitteroids and the YouTubings and Jesterites, now do you think that they might have a legal problem there somewhere in the future? if they think that that's what they're able to do. I mean, I'm waiting to hear from what you say, because I don't want it just to be about me. Although, just to make sure that the message gets through, I've now got statements from all of them. So I've got these statements and these bars lined up, and I'm going, right, which one am I going to go for first? Okay, so what are we looking at? 9 grand? 5 grand? I mean, even 3 grand hurts, doesn't it? So I would reckon probably 5 grand a bar. I could be in for a few bob in the next 18 months, because they're going to go on their knees and apologise and pay me. They don't know it yet, but that's what they're going to do. Now, that's if we were to take it to its natural conclusion, right? So I've got the bars, I've got them named. I've got names of the people in the bars that have said this. It's surreal that this guy is banned. And I've got everything that I need now to pass it to my lawyer. Except I don't want to do it. I don't want to. You know why I don't want to do it? Because they're not wicked. They're just wrong. They don't understand it. They genuinely don't understand it. And that's why they're doing it. So I've decided that what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to write to what's called the Village Business Association, which is all the bars in Canal Street. I think it's the Licensed Village Business, or some VLBA or something. And I'm going to write to them via a go-between, or the man who runs it. And I'm going to say, here's the situation that is currently existing. Here's what I've got. Here's what is going to happen if you do not wake up. Right? And then I'm going to spell out for them what it is that they shouldn't do. And with a bit of luck, if I'm right, they'll stop being silly buggers and maybe start listening to what people are saying. Because many of these people have been part of the gay scene for years. And let me be absolutely straight about this. Canal Street is the gay village. And when I say gay, I mean male and female. Gays and lesbians. It is the gay village. It is not the queer village. It is not the trans village. Now, what also will be in the letter will be the information that they need to understand, so they are not funding in any way whatsoever Manchester Pride, the LGBT Foundation, Stonewall, Albert Kennedy Trust, Terence Higgins Trust, or any of these charities who have actively collaborated in the medicalisation, sterilisation and mutilation of gay youth. That'll be in there as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond, because, you know, as far as I'm concerned, it just seems to me it's all a bit rock and a hard place. But I shall wait for your views on this, because they're always important to me. Stick them in the comments. In the doobries will be the information. There's nothing in the doobries because there's nothing to give you. But in the comments section, I'm expecting to hear from you. Is it me, or does this sound like a direct breach of the Equality Act? So I've also started a conversation with licensing. So we're going to go through each individual licence, because I want to see whether or not breaching the Equality Act affects the licensing. In which case, if a bar, for example, has breached the Equality Act, does that affect their ability to have a licence under Manchester City Council? I've also written to Bev Craig, who's head of Manchester City Council, who was given rocket fuel to this child mutilation by signing up to a trans pledge along with the rest of the weak councillors that did the same thing. So this isn't going away, folks. All right, it's coming, and it's coming very, very quickly. So, you know, you might want to start thinking about where you might find out information that will bring you up to speed. Because if I was you, I'd be asking that individual, where the hell do we get it wrong? I mean, if you choose not to, that's up to you, but then you take the consequences like everybody else is going to. Because yesterday in Parliament, it was absolutely unequivocal. We are going to root this out, and the people who supported it are going to pay, one way or another. And that may, and I do hope, include jail time. Right, for conspiracy to commit grievous bodily harm against children. Other than that, have fun, good folks. I'll see thee later. Ta-da!